how important it is as you're building your brand, as you're positioning yourself in your community, as you're growing as a professional, as a leader, to make an agreement with yourself to stay true to that. And I don't use the word agreement lightly. It literally is a contract that you make with yourself. Staying true to who you are in the face of adversity, in the face of challenge or obstacles, in light of temptation is really difficult. People often ask me, what are some of the things I think I've done really well in building my own brand? Or what do some of my clients do really well that helps them become successful? And I think it is staying true to who you are, which means you have to have a sense of who you are first, right? Otherwise, you don't know who you're staying true to. And then making an agreement that you're worth it, that all of this might get hard, it might get tricky or a little bit messy, but it's worth it because you're worth it. And that might sound really trivial, but brand is not for the faint of heart. If you've followed my programs or you've, been in a class that I've taught or you've read my previous work, you know that I always say the process is simple, but the outcome isn't easy, because you have to ask yourself some really difficult questions. You have to be really clear on how people perceive you. What do they feel about you? Are you somebody that they will trust and want to refer and endorse? What is their perception of you? Just the process of getting feedback can make many people feel uncomfortable. And I appreciate that. And in the book, I'm going to show you how I do it for my clients, the perception mapping methodology. It's not easy, but it's worth it because you're worth it. And the only way to know if this is working is if you can measure success. So being able to put those metrics to personal branding and reputation management are critical. But I find more and more in the programs that I'm teaching and the things that I'm writing and what I was excited about including in this book is this idea of an agreement. And I even went so far as to give you sample language for an agreement, because it was something I had to learn early on in my career. That, you're always going to be tempted, right? There's an opportunity that sounds great. Somebody wants to pay you more money or give you more fun or more visibility. How do you know if that's right for you or not? I do a lot of coaching with people who are really struggling to make those decisions because everything feels equal. One of the things I share when I talk about agreement is an agreement I had to make with myself. And I'll share that story with you now. So about a year into my own business, right? I started it in 2008. This was 2009. The economy was still terrible, right? Everyone I knew was losing their jobs, losing their houses. I mean, it was a mess and everything was unstable. I had started this brand new business which some people thought was a great idea. And others looked at me like I had four heads, because who does that? And I had an opportunity about a year in to do a really big, financially lucrative project. It was with a financial firm here in Colorado, where I'm based. And it was a lot of money, like a lot of money. And it was so exciting, actually, that my husband went and bought champagne and my friends were congratulating me. I was told verbally I was going to get this contract. And I thought really long and hard about it. I thought about what I had spent the last year building as my own company, what I had spent my career working towards, what I stood for and what I represented. And I decided I was going to turn it down. And honestly, I have never seen color drain out of my husband's face as fast as when I told him I was going to pass this up, because he kept saying, do you know how many mortgage payments that is? Like, why would you turn this down? But he also said, I'm sure you have a reason. So walk me through it. And here were the 3 reasons I was going to turn it down. I said, I've made an agreement with myself that I want to do work with people I enjoy being around. And I don't like these people. And maybe that sounds really petty to you, but I didn't get a sense that they valued me. I felt like they had to do the process that they were hiring me for because their board of directors had mandated it. So sort of a necessary evil. I was a necessary evil. So they treated me with a lot of disdain and not really pleasant. Every time I met with them, I just wanted to leave the meeting. So that was the first reason. I didn't like these people. The second reason I was going to turn it down is because you know how when you do a really good job, which I was confident I could, it was work I had done 100 times before, people want to refer you. Well, people hang out with people like them. So who would they want to refer me to? People like them. And I didn't want to be referred to more unnice people. And the third reason was because I felt like if I took this project, my business was small enough, I wouldn't have capacity to take on any new work for about 3 to 4 months. And I wasn't sure I was ready to turn down any other opportunity just for this one. And I remember the conversation like it was yesterday with the client where she was giving me the verbal approval. And I said, with all due respect, I am going to pass on this opportunity. I don't think it's a fit. Because here's what she said to me. She said, do you know how bad the market is right now? Jobs like this don't come along every day. Oh, I admit I probably threw up a little bit in my mouth. I was so freaked out that I had just made a big mistake. But I knew in my heart I hadn't, because I was standing true to what I knew was best for me. And here's the part you're not even going to believe. Within the next few days and weeks, my phone started ringing. Emails were coming in from people who had gotten my business cards 6 months before, or I'd sent a proposal to a year prior, and they were ready to get to work. And these were all the people I wanted to work with, who I couldn't have worked with if I had taken that project. That's what it means to stand in agreement with your brand. And I know it sounds a little far-fetched, what I'm telling you, but it's happened many times to me over the course of my career. And it will happen to you. But you have to do the bold thing, which is standing true to what you know is right for you, what you know is best for you, and what you know you deserve. And that's why tip number 1 is to stand in agreement with your brand and your value.